Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, December the 10th, and time once again for the Mailbag. Thomas here, your host as always. Hope you guys have had a great week and a great weekend. Mine was good. Mailbag is pretty light today, only about 5 packages for the week. This is going to happen. Things are going to start thinning out a little bit in the mail as we get closer to Christmas and the New Year's, and everybody shuts down the office for, the holidays, as it were. But I'll try to keep these mailbags turning over week by week, as long as books are still coming in. Why not, right? Whole bunch of stuff for next year is already turning up, and so, yeah, it's all very exciting. We want to be up to date. We want to know what's coming out, right? More news. Today's video is the second that you're watching that I have now shot on my new camera. I have replaced my old camera, which was a Nikon Coolpix, a little more than 5 years old. It had been the camera that I had shot pretty much every single SFF180 episode since the channel started. It was a good camera, but it was starting to show its age. And so it was time to upgrade. And so I am now using a Canon EOS 2 SL, I believe. Yes. And so I'm still learning the ropes with it, but as far as I can tell so far, it is recording exemplary video, and I still have to do a little bit of tweaking with it, sound and things like that, but I'm enjoying learning the camera, so, expect to see better production values now going forth, and I'm really looking forward to that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for announcements, so let's go ahead and dig into this week's book, shall we? And we're going to start out today with a package from HarperCollins. Okay, this is nice. We're starting out today with a new book by Sarah Beth Durst, who is proving to be ridiculously prolific. I think this is something like the 3rd book she's done this. In fact, I think last week I had a new YA from her. Maybe last week or no more than a week or two ago, anyway. And now we have The Deepest Blue. This is a new novel that is set in her Arenthia universe, so the previous trilogy, The Queens of Renthia. This is a new novel set in that universe, as it were, and it says it's the natural magic of the island of the Blue Dolphins meets the danger and courage of the Hunger Games in a dazzling, intricate standalone novel. Okay, set in this universe. Deepest Blue comes out March the 19th, and it goes like this. Life is precious and precarious on the islands of Baleen, Baleen, I guess. Besieged by a capricious ocean full of malicious spirits, the people of the islands seek joy where they can. Mayara, one of the island's fearless oyster divers, has found happiness in love, but on the day of her wedding to the artist Kello, a spirit-driven storm hits the island with deadly force. To save her loved ones, Mayara reveals a dangerous secret. She has the power to control the spirits. When the storm ends, she is taken into custody by the Queen's soldiers and imprisoned with other women like her. They vary in age and social status, but to many they are heroes who will aid the country or witches that will sacrifice themselves trying. No matter who they are, the women are sent to a terrifying place, an island filled with bloodthirsty nature spirits, and left without food, water, shelter, or any tools except their own instincts and magic. This is kind of cool. Whoever survives the island of testing will be declared heirs to the Queen. But no matter if she wins or loses, Mayara knows that the life she dreamed of is gone. Okay, well this sounds like it's going to be pretty action-packed and suspenseful. But The Deepest Blue from Sarah Beth Durst arrives on March the 19th from Harper Voyager. And here we have a white envelope, sometimes, but not always, denotes a tour title. Okay, interesting. It's finally here. This is a book called A King in Cobwebs. The author is David Keck, and this is the long-delayed final volume in his trilogy, The Tales of Durand. And to give you guys a bit of a refresher, the first 2 books in this trilogy came out something like 10, 12 years ago from Tor. I remember reading them at the time and not being entirely satisfied with them, although today my opinion might improve because admittedly, they were probably a bit ahead of their time. They were sort of early grimdark, as it were, and they're quite grim and dark indeed. But what happened was the first 2 books came out, and then it just sort of petered out. Maybe they didn't really perform all that well. But Tor's given it a second chance, and they have re-released the first 2 volumes in trade paperback, and now the trilogy is finally complete. Okay, the highly anticipated epic conclusion to David Keck's Tales of Durand. And it has, apparently it's already come out. This was last week, December the 4th. Once filled with dreams of being a knight, Durand has left behind his days as a sword for hire and is now a champion of a duke. The land is at the mercy of a paranoid king who's become unfit to rule. As rebellion sparks in a conquered duchy, the final bond holding back the banished breaks, unleashing their nightmarish evil on the innocents of the kingdom. In his final battle against the banished, Duran comes face to face with the whispering darkness responsible for it all, the king in cobwebs. So as you see, it is that kind of dark epic fantasy, and I think I would be interested in giving this a second try. If Tor was willing to give it a second try, so will I think. But the King in Cobwebs is now out and available from Tor Books in trade paperback. Ooh, okay, this is exciting. This is a package from World Weaver Press. Small press that's making a nice impact. I reviewed one of their titles for Halloween. So let's see what they have. Right, 2 books in that package, and the first one is right here. They've already sent me this one as an ARC, but this is a finished copy. This is Jack Jetstark's Intergalactic Freak Show. The author is Jennifer Lee Rossman, and it says it's about the head of a traveling space carnival and his found family who are on a mission to save a princess who may not need saving. Okay, Jack Jetstark travels the universe to seek out the descendants of superpowered freaks created long ago by Vescorp scientists. The vibrations encoded in a particular song transform the members of Jack's crew into a fire breather and an angel, a wild man, and telepathic conjoined triplets. So they hide the truth of who they really are with the theatrics of a carnival. The song plays every night through the receptor Jack carries with them, but when one night it has a different ending and their temporary powers become permanent, Jack believes the change is a signal from the woman who sent him on this quest in the first place. He and his freaks must navigate a universe at war to protect the love of his life, but does the ruler of Vescorp really need protecting? Interesting. Okay. And Jennifer Lee Rossman, who describes herself as a disabled and autistic freak, and proudly so. Okay. Has had a novella out already, and so I guess this is the first novel-length story. But this is available now. Came out on December the 4th. Let me know in the comments. And also, this looks unusual. This is something called Skull and Pestle, New Tales of Baba Yaga. Okay. It's an anthology, as you might have guessed. It comes out on January the 22nd, compiled by fairy tale scholar Kate Wolford. These 7 original tales, both modern and historical, explore the many facets of this mysterious figure from Slavic folklore. Okay. The only name in here I recognize is Kate Forsyth. So interesting. But anyway, it says she can be the enemy of your nightmares or the spirit guide to your dreams. Her hair is wild and gray, her teeth are made of iron, and she travels using a giant mortar and pestle and lives in a shack on chicken feet surrounded by a fence of skulls and bones. She is Baba Yaga, a crone who ruthlessly uses the needy and greedy for her own devices. And in this anthology of new stories starring Baba Yaga, she lands in some spectacular scenarios. A Jewish resistance fighter in World War II Poland must gain the help of Baba Yaga to vanquish 3 supernatural men and avenge the loss of her comrades. A young mother leaves her family to serve the witch in penance for committing a terrible wrong. One story delves into Baba Yaga's tragic origins, while another re-examines the classic tale of Vasilisa, following the young girl who comes to Baba Yaga for fire on her own journey from maiden to mother to crone. One tale transports the witch from the forests of Russia to the swamplands of the American South, expertly weaving together Slavic and African-American folklore, and another brings her right into the modern day as a young boy goes looking for a witch to put a spell on a school bully and gets more than he bargained for. Anyway, Skull and Pestle, New Tales of Baba Yaga, and it comes out January the 22nd. Fascinating. Let me know in the comments. Okay, and moving down the list, here is one from Random Penguin. Okay, well here's something unexpected. This is a YA. It's the arc for a book called The Afterword. The author is E.K. Johnston. And let me see, I believe, yeah, E.K. Johnston has written, some YA Star Wars novels, things like that. Okay. Anyway, this one comes out February the 19th, and it says, from the best-selling author of Star Wars Ahsoka, and Exit Pursued by a Bear comes a sweepingly epic and intensely personal tale of 2 heroes and the lengths they will go to find their way back to each other. We all know how the story goes. Hero saves the world and gets to live happily ever after, right? For Ulsa, Rhett's daughter, and apprentice knight Kalanth Ironheart, nothing about their existence after the quest which saved their king and kingdom has been happy. Told in alternating chapters of before and after, the Afterword introduces readers to a world rife with magic and gods. where people are free to love whomever they choose but are constricted by their rank, familial obligations, and financial status. For Kalanath, not Calanth, Kalanath, who has always dreamed of being a knight, her dream came with a price. Though she has nearly achieved her goal, it has left her with a weighty debt, which can only be alleviated through marriage. Now she must choose between the woman she loves and the man who offers safety and security. For Olsa, struggle is all that she's ever known. A beggar and thief, the quest has changed little for her, except her debt to the thief's court. Her newfound freedom has left her penniless, with few skills and few friends. What's a thief to do when the only thing she's ever known, ever been good at, has been thievery? Where once a great quest united them, the aftermath now tears them apart, and when word comes that their world might not be as safe as they once thought, they must seize the opportunity to make things right again, or suffer the consequences. Okay. It says, if you're a fan of Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, then, or Inej Goffa from Six of Crows, then apparently this is the book for you. Okay then, but YA Fantasy Epic, coming out February the 19th, the Afterword. Let me know in the comments. And last but not least, Random Penguin Package. And this is a very exciting one to end this week on, because now I can finish up a trilogy. Arc for Holy Sister from Mark Lawrence says this comes out April the 9th from Ace Books. Now, if you have read this series about warrior nuns, you kind of know what this is all about. Red Sister won last year's fantasy category in the BookTube SFF Awards. So you know what? And I am hopelessly delayed on my review of that. I have all my notes in a file on my computer, and I've just never actually turned them into a review because I can be exactly that lame. So I think it's time now to do Grey Sister and Holy Sister and binge all three. And I want to maybe do this by the end of the year. But anyway, Holy Sister coming out in April from Ace Books by Mark Lawrence. Exciting. And there you have it. That's all we got for this week in the mailbag. You know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, as always, please hit the like button, share the video far and wide with all your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you haven't done so. That's how the channel grows. This last week was weird for my subs. It's like I seem to be stuck in the 5720s at the moment, because it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. It's been one of those weird weeks for subs. So if you haven't subbed, let's get to 6,000, shall we? Let's do that thing, okay? You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's army, I get little perks like getting to see some of these videos early. I want to thank all those people for their additional added support. I want to thank you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube. And yeah, until I see all of you next time, happy reading.